Hey, Lord of the Rings fans, it's your boy, New Better, Do Better. We are back for another episode of Voices of Arda. Now, I have no idea what number episode this is because we just been going in. We've been going in, but I got my co-host, the master, the woman with the plan, Callie Cosplay. What up, Callie?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. This will
It
be a
is
very
good to be
fun one.
back. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is
I
gonna
mean,
be
I think
fun.
we say that every time, but it is true every time. So,
I know I tend to agree with you on most things, or get yelled at. Agree or get yelled at. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Wink if you're in danger. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Guys, we got a very special guest today. As always, I feel like we always got special guests, but this guest in particular is one of my favorite TikTokers. Callie, can you please introduce our special guest?
She is on TikTok and Instagram as Kaia Kay. Yay!
What's up, Gaia?
Tell us
No.
about yourself. Where do we are you just on TikTok and Instagram? Do you have other social medias? Where do we find you?
Oh God, no, mostly just TikTok and Instagram. I mean,
Perfect.
I'm pretty funny on Twitter or X now and
Okay.
Threads,
Okay.
but that's more
Oh.
like just when I feel like being unhinged. So
I don't
We're
know if
here
I'll
for
ever
that.
get used to calling it X. It's just
yeah,
saying.
No, I
me
never
neither.
do. I
It's
still
Twitter.
refuse to call it that. And like, what do you like? I wrote an X. I wrote a tweet. Like, you don't. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work,
It
Yeah,
people.
like
doesn't
what are you
it
supposed to
doesn't
say? Like I
translate.
X'd?
I X. So those are the social media platforms we can find you on. Just
Yes.
let everybody know the name that we can find you at those social media platforms.
Kaia Kay. It's the same one on
Kaia
every
Kay,
single
one of
one.
them.
Kaia
Sometimes
Kay.
it's a double Y because someone else
Oh.
decided to use my name,
You
but
know what? Haters, kid. Haters. That's it.
I don't know.
But for those you who don't know, we all make Lord of the Rings content, so it's particularly special for me when I get somebody who has passion in the Lord of the Rings, and she makes hilarious videos, also informative videos.
Very knowledgeable.
I love your videos that you make when you're like, if you were watching the Lord of the Rings with me, and then you're like, did you know? And I'm like, yo. That's some real shit right there. That's real. That's real. So I appreciate your humor. I appreciate your content. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of this episode, Callie, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about, this week's main holiday. So we are recording this on February the 12th.
Uh-oh.
The joke that I have will
No, we could just
introduce
skip. You were telling us about
the joke
February
that I
something.
have will introduce the topic. Why are only girls born on Valentine's Day? Because there's no mail delivery on holidays.
I was going to try to figure that one out. I was thinking, I was accessing my brain stem, and I was trying to, you know what? All right, okay.
That's
There's no
it's like a
mail.
dad
Okay.
joke.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That
No.
was
This is what we do here, or what I do here, at least, is terrible, terrible, terrible jokes. A joke out of the way. That is my thing. We always then move swiftly along, as our listeners will know. Today we are going to be talking about Tolkien's love stories because it is Valentine's Day, of course, on February the 14th. To open this discussion, I do want to absolutely say that Voices of Arda supports all types of love, all kinds of love, however it looks in all its forms. The Greeks had 8 words that correspond to different types of love. So you have eros, the romantic, kind of passionate love. You have philia, the affectionate love. You have agape, the selfless, universal love. You have storge, the familiar love. Mania, you have the obsessive love.
hmm.
Ludus, the playful love. Pragma, the enduring love. And philautia, the self-love. And we absolutely celebrate all the types of love that everyone has for anyone. And however it looks to you, we applaud that very much. So, that
That's the
being
type of
said,
research that I can appreciate. Not your silly jokes. That type of stuff right there, I'm with that.
Live with that data.
um, that being said, when we focus on, if we want to go with sort of the narrow definition, in Tolkien's love stories, he did as we all know, right? Mostly about the heteronormative type of love. And so we're going to talk about sort of our favorite couples throughout this next discussion. But in no way do I want anyone to think that we're trying to say that man and woman love is the only way to do it.
Nah, man, I want to hear that shit, man.
Right?
And a couple of these stories, man, it's definitely some, hetero, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely some different stuff going on. Whether he knew he was doing it intentionally or, didn't know, or whichever way or whatever interpretation, it definitely, you can get different things from these stories. And I definitely see a couple of relationships that where maybe one of the people was in love with the other person in another type of way, even if they were the same sex, and that's completely okay and that's completely fine. So we don't get bullied up here. That's one thing we don't get bullied. So I'm not scared to say it. I don't care what person love what person. If that's what I see, that's what I see. I don't care who write in the comments. Well, we could delete the comment. I could delete you if you want to be, if you want to hate or do something funny like that. We don't do that up here. So I don't personally care how any hater feels. If I feel like, hey, this relationship seems like these two guys like each other, or these two females like each other, that's cool, and we can speak about it. So don't feel like restrained or nothing like that. And you know what I'm saying, if we feel like it's a male female relationship, which most of them are, absolutely, we're gonna talk about it. But we're gonna talk about all things. We're not gonna let the world's view or whoever's view, keep us restrained, because that's not cool, and we don't do that. So speak freely, speak your mind. If you feel like there's a relationship, Frodo and Sam, that's a little funny, you know what I'm
Sam and Rosie.
saying? Then we're gonna speak about that. Then you know what I'm saying? Kaia, I'm interested to ask you, what is the relationship that jumps out to you the most? Like, I'm sure Callie has questions lined up because she always does. But I'm going to ask you straight away.
Yeah.
What is the relationship that jumps out the most as like love, the love interest, the love relationship in all of Tolkien works?
The most, probably two of them. I harp on Beren and Luthien a lot because I love Beren and Luthien, mostly because
Yes.
of how it's a self-insert for Tolkien and his wife.
Yeah.
And I just think that is just, I don't know, I just love that so much. And I try so hard to be like Tolkien when it comes to writing things for my fiance. And
Aw.
it's just, it's a hard
Zone.
shoes to fill. Since Beren and Luthien already exists, like, okay, well, now I got to create my own shit. So
Yeah. I hear you. Beren and Luthien, that is a juggernaut to deal with right there, because I find that to be the most, well, first of all, the most pure. It wasn't forced. I feel like that was like the most renowned relationship. The love was just so, like, oh my God, it's so deep that they
yeah,
literally feel pain. They literally can't live without each other. Like, they can't do it. Like, they can't
yeah,
make
and
another decision.
it comes like so naturally too, because like even
Yeah.
though like when they had first met and Luthien didn't see him and he like kind of spooks her and she goes running, he chases her. And even then, like, she turns around and it's love at first sight. So it's not like they went out for coffee and had to get to know each other. Just like they looked at each other and they knew.
Yeah. This is how deep the love is for me. Baron had just came from Nandungortheb, the Valley of Dreadful Death, and he was in a state. He was donezo. He was absolutely out of it. He was swooning on the ground, like hurt. He couldn't even, like, he was like bent and grayed. Like, the torture of going through that dreadful place really did a number on him, and he never spoke of it ever again. The touch of Luthien healed all of that from him. Like, literally got him out of it. Just like the look and the love and the warmth from her, literally brought him back from the brink of, like, I'd say insanity. Because having that type of experience, where they said nobody had the experience of Baron, of going through there like that he really saw some shit in there. And the fact that just seeing someone that you're so enamored with, that you so just have an immediate connection with, that you just feel a warmth and a love from, makes you forget all of those dreadful things. That's what it's all about. And that's how you could tell, hey, this thing is going to last. So I
Yeah.
applaud that relationship.
I think that's like another reason why I resonate with it so much is because that the beginning of their relationship is kind of like how the beginning of mine and my fiance's relationship started.
Oh, tell us all about it.
Because I had just gotten out of a really like narcissistic abusive relationship. And I was at work and she works for a company that we order from and whatever. And she was our sales rep and she comes in and she's talking to my boss and I'm just looking at her. And then when she leaves, I was scared to talk to her. I couldn't even look at her for like 5 seconds consecutively because I was like, holy shit, what if she looks at me? And then like she leaves and I turn to my coworker and I'm like, I'm gonna marry her.
Oh my
Yo,
gosh.
that's
And
Yeah.
then
real.
then a year later we bought a house together and then a year
Look
later
at that.
Oh
we got engaged.
Yo,
So
she knew what it was. Yo, that's ill that
man.
you knew that you absolutely knew, like like exactly in that moment. Like that's what's up. Like
yeah,
I, I,
it's great.
I just that's something in my soul right there.
It's
Callie, what about you,
beautiful.
Callie? Tell us about the moment that you knew that your boo was the one.
So I had to look really way up in the sky to see him. So
Yes.
it could have been that I was just
You don't know.
amazed.
Callie's boyfriend is very tall.
He is
Very
6'8"
tall.
and I am 4'11.
Yes,
So
Callie
we
is tiny. I just wanted to pick her up when I met her the first time. I think I spun her around in a circle. I was like, Callie, and I'm very little. I'm 5'3". I'm tiny.
Oh my God, I'm
And
tall.
then I looked up and her boyfriend was up there. I was like, hey, what's up, buddy? Hello. That shit was funny. I was like, Jesus. So he's huge.
He's
That's
a
crazy.
tall
so you know.
man.
What about you, New Better?
Um, so you know what's interesting? I knew my wife for a long time because we went to school together. So, it wasn't an issue in the sense of when I first saw her, like, you know what I'm saying? But it was a reconnect thing because, she
Mm.
moved to another town. We had been disconnected for years, like 10 years or something like that. But we all, we from the same town, so we knew each other. And then when we reconnected, what I'm saying? It was sparks flying and we got together and we went on a date and everything. And it was great. But the moment I knew is I don't know, as a guy, so I'm going to tell you the truth. When I knew that I definitely wanted to be with this person for the rest of my life, I honestly, guys are very shut off about certain things, and maybe I would say secretive or whatever. There's certain things we just maybe not share with a female, especially when you just reconnecting with them in that way. I did not. I was just like, yo, I did not have any second comments about saying anything about being honest about anything. And I just was like, yo, I never really felt like that before. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, oh, I've lied to females or whatever, but in a certain sense, it's like you closed off in a way. And I just wasn't. And I just didn't want to be. And I didn't, and I wanted to share everything and I wanted to be open about everything. And that's when I really felt like, yo, I want to be with this person. This person makes me want to be like better in every way. And that's exactly the way it progressed going, you know what I'm saying? Going through our relationship. I always want to be like a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're mad at me, it feels like the world is like, oh my God, like I don't want them to be because I care so much about what they think because I care so much about them. They make me just want to do better and be better. And that's how I know. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
So sweet.
Oh my gosh, that's
That's
oh,
so sweet.
I'll just clip that and send it to your wife.
Don't do that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that's when. So I'm glad all of us. That was so organic that we just shared. Kaya, thank you for opening up those floodgates.
Yeah,
That
and
that is dope though. That I really think that is like very Lord of the Rings. How you just said like saw
mhm.
her and was like instantly on some Thingel and
Fate.
Melian,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thingel and
except for we
Melian
didn't have
shit.
like, 1,000
You didn't
years
have
span to
Standing.
figure each other.
you didn't stand there forever, but
Yeah.
you you definitely got to it though. So I applaud that you really went after what you wanted and they reciprocated the feelings and that's what's up. Or wait, who initiated? Who tried to bag who?
Thank you.
It depends on how you look at the situation because she would like, correspond with my boss and every time I'd be like, tell Selene, I say, hey. And
Throwing a
we started
little.
we started actually texting each other first about work stuff, and then we kept the conversation going about other work stuff. And then we decided to meet up where she lived, and we just talked for our first date. And then towards the end of it, she kissed me, and then I was like, wow, I was very dizzy walking back to my car. Not that I was drinking or anything, but I was just like,
Oh,
not
that
just.
love drunk.
And then I get into my car and I scream, and I'm like, holy shit, she kissed me.
Yo, that's dope feeling. That's a
Yeah,
dope
it
feeling.
was great. So I would say
That's
me.
awesome. Awesome. That is awesome. You guys, I wish you the best. You're engaged, right?
Yeah.
Best thing I
Mhm.
did was get married because it cements things like, you know what I'm saying? You have rough patches and everything. That's gonna happen. But when we got married, for me anyway, I can't speak for anybody else. When I got married, it was like a trust and everything sealed the deal. And like I feel like completely like, like this is what I want in my life, and this is the you know what I'm saying, direction I want to be going in. I have my family and you know what I'm saying, my structure in my life and everything, and she completes that, and my son completes that. So boom, that's I'm very happy where I am. You know what I'm saying? So God willing, you know what I'm saying? America and God, we keep that going, like you know what I'm saying, God willing, but you know what I'm saying, we'll see. But absolutely super happy. But yeah.
That's
Callie, I know you got
amazing.
some questions for us. I know you got
Yeah,
some.
well, new better. Do you have a couple from the legendarium that you liked, that resonated with you, that you know anybody's love stories that you
I
enjoyed?
always I always resonate with Tuor and Idril. I always resonate
Oh.
with them. Now they
Mm.
don't have the most talked about love story in the Silmarillion, but when in the Fall of Gondolin it's more, you know, more complete. But the thing about that story that really does it for me is for one, very in a similar same uh you know zone as Baron and Luthien. One person is an elf, one person is a human. So just to go outside your own comfort zone in a certain sense, of you know, hey, this person is a different race. I'm going to live forever. They're going to die. I still love them so much that this does not matter to me. That I'm going to definitely lose this person, and I love them so much that I'm willing to go through that pain. And the trust that Tuor had, being an alpha male. Tuor's definitely an alpha male, right? He's an alpha male, and he comes and he's able to kill Balrogs. He's able to do all these things. But when the time comes and Idril has this hidden way, he's like, yeah, let's go, let's go. He trusts that you know what she did, and it's not a problem. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I love the relationship between Tuor, and not only Tuor, but Huor and Hurin, and with Turgon, so who's Idril's father. Like that is like very important. You know, everybody knows, you know, the in-laws. Like it's super important to have that, and he has their blessing right away. Turgon gives his blessing right away. Idril is dealing with trauma. She's dealing with a extreme trauma of not being able to trust a lot of people in her surrounding area because of the, you know, for one, she does not let trust Maeglin. That is like a stain on it. Like it feels like it's like a ick that's on her. So I can see her not being able to trust dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this guy is my cousin and he's creeping me out. Like, so I can see her feeling like, yo, I don't want to even be involved in nothing. And dealing with, okay, I definitely saw some wild shit happen where my cousin's father killed my aunt. Like, and then we're elves. We're not supposed to kill nobody. They threw him off the side. This dude, Maeglin, didn't even cry for his dad. His dad says, I hope you die. Like this, like there's some trauma there. And
Wow, yeah.
Tuor definitely came in, and she was just like, no, I trust you. His humbleness, his forthcomingness, he was straight up, he was honest with everyone. Hey, listen, your city's about to fall, this, that, and the third. And you know what I'm saying? You know, they saw that he was telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? If Ecthelion lets you in, then you know you're good to go. Thelion lets him in. They go. He has the armor on. He kind of speaks with the voice of Olmo, so I'm sure that helped. And everybody looked at him with reverence, like, "Yo, wow, he's speaking like a god himself." And so she's like, "Wow, this is truly a great man." He stays there, even though he knows the city's going to fall. It's going to be out of here. He stays with them, and because he could have left and went where Olmo said to go, maybe go hide somewhere. He didn't. If they fall in love, they have a beautiful child, and it speaks to their love. Their child is destined to save the entire world. I just think that their relationship is really beautiful and really dope. And she's named the Silverfoot. Like, get out of here. Her name
That's
is the
pretty
Silverfoot.
cool. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Idril Celebrindo. I really think she's
Oh.
dope. I really think Tuor's dope, and I think their love is dope. I find it awesome.
And I think they actually get the rare happy ending.
This is a debate. It's like a big
Oh.
debate. If you ask me,
Ooh.
I go for the happy ending. If you
Okay.
ask somebody like Lee, she's like, no, it's Noldorian conjecture. Like, and I'm like, let's just go with the happy ending. So
we don't get those very often. So
yeah,
when we
they
do, we
allow
kind of
Tuor
have
to become one of the firstborn, and him and Idril, live on forever.
They'll
So
off together.
I think that's it.
I like that. That's beautiful.
What about you, Callie?
So this is probably not an example that a lot of people would have noticed. But my favorite sort of example of couple love is Húrin and Morwen. I think that they were like when I was reading it for the first time, my immediate thought was like, yes, this is what a partnership to me looks like. This is what a marriage and raising a child would look like. Just because Húrin and Morwen, they have love for each other, and they're both very strong and very capable characters, but they still have um that compassionate side, and maybe Húrin more than Morwen, because there's this whole story where Turin is giving away his birthday knife. I don't know, and his mom's kind of like, "Why did you do that?" Like,
Yeah.
but Húrin is like, "No, like, it was his to give away, his love, and his to give away, and he advises for compassion and all that kind of stuff, and I just thought that was just a beautiful response. It shows the way that I think anyway, that they work together, and have like a truly respectful, like mutually respectful partnership, and I've always just loved that
Yeah,
myself. Yeah.
absolutely. I think too, at the end, it shows how much they loved each other. He saw the whole curse of his children, and
Mm,
he lived through that, and he didn't. He reacted, but he didn't react as harshly as he did when the last final piece was taken away from him, when Morwen, when she passed. Then it was like, I have nothing to live for. Like, this was my fine. Like, I had her still. Like, I found her, and then right away she was gone, unfortunately. And at the end, and he didn't have the will to live anymore. It was just like, so he really cared for her, as he did obviously for his children as well. But it was
mhm,
like, there's nothing now. There's nothing. And I just thought, I was like, oh, this is so sad, but beautiful at the same time in a certain sense,
mm.
if you can understand my meaning.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So
Those endings are
I
always the saddest.
I got a relationship that I want to talk about
Okay.
that is uh it's not traditional, and it's a
Love
love
it.
relationship, but it's a friendship love, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
But definitely, like, the love there is palpable, and it's like so beautiful. And this is probably my favorite relationship outside of Idril and Tuor and Baron and Luthien. And I hate this person, so you know that it's real. This is how you know it's real, because I hate this person. Turin and Beleg's
Oh.
friendship is
Mm,
so real, and it's like, this is love. It's love. This is you love your friend so much, like, you'll do
mhm.
anything for them. Like, I think that's some Sam and Frodo shit, but I think that one of them was in love with each other, Sam and Frodo. But definitely Turin and Beleg, like, really fucked with each other. They really loved each other on another level. Like
Mm.
this is like my guy. This is my heartbeat right here. Like I'll do anything. Like Bele goes out of his way. He doesn't have to do this. So he looks for his friend. His friend tells him, he finds his friend. His friend's like, nah, I'm not coming back there. And he could go home and it's like, what can I do? He goes back again. And he was mistreated when he first found Turin, for one. He's willing to by himself alone go after his friend who was captured by orcs, and they're on their way to Angband. Like, and what are you gonna do? Like, this this guy is such a stand-up guy. Like, but no matter how stubborn and hard-headed Turin is, he said, I'm gonna stick by your side, watch over you, help you fight. And I just think Bellig is so dope. And Turin also in that sense, because when he realizes what happens when him and Bellig, unfortunately, something happens where somebody's mistaken for something else, and Bellig
It's
is
like,
slain.
new meta, you want to tell us how that friendship story ends?
I don't know if I want to go over it, but when they talk about things that resonate in your mind and like echo and like things that flash in my mind when I'm reading, that's one of the reasons I can't read the Children of Hurin like often. I hate it because the look on Turin's face when he realizes it's Belleg.
That's the moment that I never want to see on screen, to be very
That
honest with
crushes
Be
you.
able
me,
to
bro.
recreate it that well.
And if they do a good job, I'm never going to emotionally recover. Like, it's not.
That's one of the scenes that you see once, and then when you play it again, you skip over it.
Yeah, you're like, when I read it, I'm like, yo, like, I don't want to talk about this, but
No.
the way it's written is done so
Oh,
well. I feel the love by the pain that is in Turin. Like it's real. Like I'm like, yo, he wrote this. Like Tolkien must have seen this happen or something where he was like, yo, Belleg was such a good friend, and it hurt Turin so much to see him and how it happened. It broke something in Turin. I think he didn't care after that. He was kind of like hard-headed before, but after that, I don't think he truly cared about anything really like that, except for the one female. But besides that, like I think he didn't really care no more. Like he kind of was like, yo, I don't really have nothing to live for like that. Like that, this is my guy. Like this is crazy. So that one is stands out to me. I think that was a really interesting one.
Yes, but we're definitely not going to talk about Turin's other love story.
Yeah, no, we ain't. That's not. That's not. Turin is a bozo to me. Be honest with you, I don't like Turin, so I don't. I just brought that up because it's more on the Belleg side of things. But I do appreciate Turin's love back for Belleg. That was very real to me. He's just so hard headed. He's so hard headed, Turin. Oh, it's my curse. Nah, it ain't your curse. It's just you hard headed. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that.
Swinging it back around to three couples who people will probably very readily recognize. We have Aragorn and Arwen, Faramir and Éowyn, and Sam and Rosie.
What do you think about those relationships, Kaia?
Well, I mean, the Aragorn and Arwen one is like kind of like a mirror of the Baron and Luthien one.
I was just about to say.
That's what I think about that. It's still sweet. I think the part of that relationship I like most is how Elrond and Thingol are so much alike when it comes to their daughter being with a mortal man, because they're just like, okay, well, you're gonna prove your worth, my daughter.
Fathers-in-law of the century, right?
Yeah.
I think we should give Elrond a little slack. I don't think he's as harsh as Thingol. I think he just knows the fate of Aragorn. He wants them, hey, fulfill this because this needs to get done. Before, if there's not going to be peace. Whereas Thingol's like, I'm trying to get this guy murked.
So I think the difference between them is more like Thingol's was almost like a weird jealous love because he knew his daughter was all that. And he's just like, well, if she's not going to marry up, at least, prove your worth, bring me a pretty rock. But like Elrond, he was like, well, I know what's going to happen to you. And I've seen what's happened, like, to my wife, where she almost faded and she had to sail and I haven't seen her for a couple 100 years. So it's either I can trust you with my daughter after I leave when she gives up her immortality, or she's coming with me.
Okay, okay. Sam and Rosie.
I don't know. I understand it's a cute relationship, like in the book. It's not very much talked of other than like, him having a small little crush on her and whatever.
Yeah.
I think I've a lot of people are gonna probably give me shit about this. I feel like that relationship is more or less a cover up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seemed like
Mhm.
the
Say
safe
more.
relationship.
Say more.
Like it seemed like the safe relationship. The way he was pawing at Frodo, like it literally says he paws at Frodo and stuff like that at times.
Yeah.
Like I think he was like in love with Frodo on some
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. Like if
Like which is cool.
I don't remember if I'm remembering this correctly from the book or if it's something that I read somewhere on the internet, but there was I think there was a part in the book where they're literally cuddling
Yeah, they're cuddling and he's
and
rubbing
he's
his
thinking to
hair and
himself, I love this man. And it's like, you don't, I've had a lot of best friends and I don't think of them like that
yeah,
whenever we're like, we're hanging out. I mean,
yeah.
there's absolutely such a thing as platonic romance, and I'm 100% here for it. But you cannot look me straight in the face and try and convince me that that wasn't more. And I think Rosie was just like, well, Sam's cute. He would be a good husband. He would be a good father. You would just have to deal with him sleeping in someone else's bed every other night.
I think that yeah, I think that the safe choice is for everybody to just go and be like, this is what happened. And this is what's written because it's Frodo is not in the state.
Oh, absolutely.
Sam is like, all right, I have Rosie. Clearly there's something here where we can build something, and that's the safe bet. And I think that's how it was written because we know that reading it and looking at it on screen, we get the same interpretation. Now, a lot of people are oh, me strong man. They feel like they need to try to scream loudly that that's not the case. Bro, that's the case. That everybody that's real keeps it real sees the same thing. Like, and I'm not even saying that's absolutely the only way to interpret it. That's not. You can interpret it as, yo, that's just like I interpret Turin and Beleg. Absolutely, and that's fine with me. But there's a majority of people see, hey, there's something going on there. There's something there. And if there's something there, there's something there. He loves them. He loves them. What I'm saying? He's there for them in ways that other people would not be there for somebody that's just their master or
Yeah.
somebody that's just a casual friend or whatever the case may have you. Even like some best friends is not going to do what Sam was doing and speaking the way Sam was speaking about Frodo and going the lengths that Sam was going about Frodo. And Frodo and vice versa, but Frodo also had a weight on him. So his love wasn't as prevalent in a certain sense to be displayed because he was dealing with so much. But he absolutely was receiving it. He was absolutely fine with receiving it and everything like that. So even if that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't receive it like that if that was it. So everything, all signs point to these dudes was in love with each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. Which I think is dope if that's the case. And even if it's not, then that even shows that hey, they was on some super friend stuff to where it's like, wow, I wish I had somebody have my back like that. You know what I'm saying? My friend ain't gonna be cuddling with me like that. but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's dope. And I know that somebody was talking about it. I think Fantastic Frankie was talking about it. She made a video. And her first interpretation. This I stitched a lot of her videos because recently she does a lot of anime content and other content and stuff like that. She's a Black creator, and she always gets kind of like pushed back on her views because she's very outspoken about her views and she says what's on her mind and what's her initial thoughts. A lot of people don't like that because they're not used to somebody doing that. They're used to somebody going along with conforming to the crowd, and she doesn't do that at all. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about her take so much. Even when I disagree, I'm like, yo, but I think it's dope that you went there. I think it's dope that your mind thought this, or that like, I never saw somebody interpret it like that. Or if they did, they never came out and said it. That's dope. This is what I think, or this is what's actually written. I'm gonna say that because I'm me, but I respect it so much. And she was like, yo, Frodo and Sam is definitely they definitely is a thing.
Mm.
Like Sam definitely is this faking with Rosie Cotton. And what the fanboys jumped into the comments and they're like, no, da, da, da. And it's like, stop, you're lying, because even the person that plays him, damn, why can't I think of his name right now?
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Even was like, yo, why didn't they have us kiss? Like, this is crazy. Like, everybody, for the most part, in the real fandom, like, yeah, there's something going on there. Stop being a toxic fanboy because it hurts your sensibilities for something that you deem out of the norm. And it's like, that's whack. That's corny. Like, you know what I'm saying? We see these relationships in real life all the time, and they're just as natural as any other type of relationship. So stop acting like that. That is more weird than anything to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight up heterosexual. I have a wife, but what the guy got? It ain't about me. It's about their love, their relationship. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I can't pretend that's not what's going on because I feel like I have a wife and that's what's going on. Like that just doesn't make any sense. So stop trying to bend everything to everybody's opinions or will. It's that I think that's weird. So yeah, absolutely. I think Sam and Frodo is a good example.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to use the argument or excuse or whatever that, like, Tolkien was a devout Catholic. He wouldn't have written about like he could have easily had written Sam and Frodo like he did Turin and Beleg, but he didn't. Like him growing up, when he grew up, he was also in the military. And even now, there's a lot of like, whether it be joking or not, there's a lot of rife homophobia in the military. I think Tolkien knew what he was doing when he wrote Sam and Frodo, and then just kind of threw Rosie in there to be like, well, just in case I don't want to get scalped.
Yes, so. And it's like that using that as a weird thing to do. Oh, he's a devout Catholic. Like, do you know how many devout Catholics are gay? There's plenty of them. So that doesn't automatically
Catholic, born until I was like 25. Like, and here I am marrying a woman.
Boom. The one thing has nothing to do with the other, to be honest. You just think, oh, this is their belief that they were raised in. A lot of people are just raised in the religion that they're raised in. And then time goes on. And like you're saying that he's a devout Catholic, like, yeah, he might practice that to an extent. And then there's things that just don't agree or sit well. Or he's like, maybe I think this and I can't say it out loud. Let me write it this way in this book. And then, okay. Like, you don't know what's going on. You can't speak to somebody's real thought process or their actual true beliefs because you think you know their religion. Like that doesn't, it's not real. That's not real. Because don't get me started on what other Catholics be doing. Don't get me started on that, because if that's the case, then like everything just falls. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, cut it out.
And like a lot of people forget that Tolkien, while growing up in like that, I don't want to say older era, but that more hateful era, even being Catholic, they forget that he was more liberal when it comes to what he believed. I mean, like Nazis tried to make him talk against Jews, and he's like, no, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm not from a Jewish heritage because they're such great people. Like he literally told Nazis to F off, and you're sitting here telling me that he wouldn't write to gays. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, this whole thing, it always comes back to this whole story is about people of different races and beliefs and everything, everybody coming together for a common goal. So I truly don't believe that he was a hateful person or a bigoted person in any way. That's my personal belief. So
the contrast would be Legolas and Gimli. Like, I don't think anyone really gets more vibes when they read the stories about Legolas and Gimli. Like, I feel very bro love with their story.
Very bro love.
Yeah.
Yo, I appreciate what you that's one of my favorite friendships too. One of my favorite friendships because it really came from something that wasn't that's so real. Like, yo, you're such a real person. I used to hate you. And this I changed my whole belief pattern and thought process because you're such an ill person. You're so dope that I ain't got no choice but to respect you and respect your people now. And now I want to get to know you guys more, and I want to bridge the gap between our races, and I want us to be closer. I something you did resonated so deeply within me that I respect you on a whole nother level now, and nobody's gonna touch you. Because when Éowyn tried to slay my boy Gimli, Legolas was not having it. That's one of the illest moves in the movies right there, and that's also straight from the book too. Legolas was not having it.
Mhm.
And I was like, yo, okay, he respect that man now. That's
Yeah,
dope.
and I think Frankie might have made a video on that one too. I don't remember if it was especially on that one, or if it was added in on the Frodo and Sam one, but I had commented on it being like, yeah, Legolas and Gimli are like, classic lovers to enemies or enemies to lovers.
Mhm.
Yeah. That joint is dope, man. That's dope. Callie, I know you got some more for us. Come on, hit us with some more.
So apparently Faramir and Erwin's marriage didn't actually happen in the movies?
Um, they I don't know if they get married,
Or
but they
like
definitely form.
at least not the extended versions. Like the
Like,
theatrical versions,
Yeah.
if you have only seen that, apparently you don't know that Faramir and Erwin do end up together, but they
Oh,
oh
I'll
do.
say
yeah,
yeah, it's
because
in the extended.
they don't have that in the theatrical, they don't have the scene where they're talking and he's like, I don't think this darkness will endure, all smoldery.
How could they leave that out?
Let's talk about that because she was Thirst McGurk for Aragorn. Let's talk about it. Thirst McGurk for Aragorn. And this is the difference between infatuation and actual love. And she realized, oh, I was infatuated with this dude because, I mean, why wouldn't you be? Aragorn is that guy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
yeah.
I love this man. I love everything about this man. And this is who I see myself actually being with after I get over my infatuation. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference there. So there's true love, and then there's, pseudo love. What would we call it? Thirst McGurk. She was thirst.
Like maybe mania obsessive love, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
She's like, yo,
Like
wow,
he
this
was the
guy's
only one
80.
that
He
she
looks,
didn't grow up
he's
around there.
this guy's like, he's killing all these orcs. Like, this guy is lit. That's what she see Aragorn, and she was like, yo, she swooned. So yeah, no, I thought that was dope, though. I thought that was dope. Yeah.
Another one we mentioned them briefly a couple of minutes ago, but I think a lot of people don't realize that Elrond is not just a perpetual bachelor. He had also his own love story. Do either of you want to talk about it?
Do we have to? It's kind
Elrond?
of sad, man.
It is sad, but I think people we don't have to go into the sad part, but we should at least let people know that he has a love interest and that after the end of everything he will be back with her and they will be happy forever, right? Right?
I sure
Right?
hope.
Yeah,
Right?
so Elrond is married. Elrond is married, and he actually married Galadriel's daughter, Galadriel and Celeborn's daughter. Now, however you want to pronounce it, Celebrian or Celebrian, whatever one you're comfortable saying is her name. And this is the twins' mother, Eldon and Elro here, and also Arwen's mother. And Kaia, do you want to finish the rest? Because it kind of breaks my heart what happens to her.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she gets captured by like, orcs and then tortured, and then she gets rescued,
She gets rescued,
and then Elrond heals her
but
physically, but
you
her
can't
mind
heal
is
her.
just, yeah,
Imagine you can't heal your wife's like emotional trauma. Like that's gotta bother Elrond, like because he's such a great healer, he's such a great person, but nothing he
Mhm.
can do can heal her
yeah,
of the wounds of her torment. And so she opts to go to Valinor. And that's same thing. I think she's very similar to Frodo in that aspect, where Frodo gets stabbed by the Witch King, and that it'll never heal. Like the pain of it never
Mm.
heals. Like and the thought of it and the weight of what he did, and so he has to go to Valinor to find peace, and she goes to Valinor to find his peace, and Elrond is like stuck in Middle Earth. He's not stuck there, but he has things to do, and he's
yeah.
like, "Yo, I need to see these things through. This is the fate of the world, but I miss you, boo. I miss you, and I'll see you soon."
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if you kind of think about it, his relationship is kind of the same as his parents, where like
Yeah. Well, let's talk about them next.
dad's in
Yeah.
the sky and his mom is just like, in this white tower. They see each other sometimes, but other
Yeah.
than that, homie's up in the sky and she's sitting there on the shores.
Oh my God. But now let me ask this: being that she can transform into a bird, do you think she ever flies up to?
Vingalot.
I mean, it would depend if you think that their science is canon with ours.
Well, clearly it's not. She turns into a bird. That's
I
right
mean,
there.
that's sort of, yeah.
His
I mean,
ship flies.
If it's the same kind of magic that makes it so that he can survive on Vingalo up in space, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, how does he get food? What is he doing? What is he doing? Let me know.
Maybe that's just why he comes down, not to visit his wife, but to get his
But
ration.
he probably doesn't need to eat though. I don't think they need to eat.
Okay, hold on. Let's rewind this all the way back to the beginning for listeners who may not know the story of Eärendil and Elwing.
Eärendil and Elwing
Yeah.
are well, Eärendil is the son of Tuor and Idril Celebrimbor from Gondolin. Gondolin gets destroyed. He goes to the havens of Syrian, and he's the representation of Gondolin. Boom. Doriath, the beautiful king of threefold race, Dior the Beautiful, and his wife have a daughter, Nimloth the Fair, have a daughter named Elwing. They also have two sons, but we don't want to talk about what happens to them. So Elwing, Doriath gets attacked by the seven sons of Feanor. It gets destroyed, and she escapes to the havens of Syrian. And both of them are of half race, half elven, half human. Both of them are of that descent, and they go to the havens of Syrian, meet, fall in love, and boom, Eärendil is destined to save the world, but he absolutely loves Elwing. So when he does do this, when he finally goes to Valinor, where he's definitely not supposed to be, he is the one that's fated to be allowed to do this. They allow Elwing to step on the shores and go to Tol Eressëa, if I'm not mistaken. She goes to Lonely Island. Is that the right place? Am I saying? Am I tripping? Or does she go to no, she goes to
No, she goes to I think she only makes
Alqualande.
it to the bridge. And
Does
then
she go
she
to
can't go
Alqualande,
back.
or she goes somewhere over there? I don't know why it's escaping me, but they allow her to do that, being that they're together. And it's just remarkable that like the he leaves her prior to this, because he is like searching the entire world looking for a way to fix the problem, for some kind of help against Morgoth and what's going on. And the Havens get attacked again, and she dives into the sea, is about to die. She has a Silmaril, and Ulmo, the god of water, rescues her, turns her into a bird, and you see our physics are not the same. Turns her into a bird, and she flies as fastly as she can, and she finds Vingula and falls into the arms of Eärendil, which was very beautiful. And he holds this bird. She doesn't know it's her. He holds this bird, and they fall asleep and wake up. And when they wake up, it's Elwing in his arms. So that's interesting. That he
Very swan
was like, "All right,
princess.
bird, I'll hold you all night." That's very interesting in itself, unless he had a feeling or something. But it's
Now
very
that I
poetic,
want
very
to see on
beautiful.
screen.
Yeah, every time I read that, I'm like, so you just held a duck? What
Like,
kind of bird was
I
this?
got this pigeon now. I guess I'm gonna have
Like,
to
Bird
what
go
is
now.
with
happening right
it.
now?
I guess it's
But
mine. And
he held it and woke up, and so a lot of fate stuff going on there, a lot of beautiful imagery going on with them, and he gets rewarded, and they agree that they're gonna help them. He gets rewarded with he gets to choose which race he's gonna be. He chooses to be an elf, and their children also have the choice. So now gonna live forever. Uh, but he's not allowed to go back into the world, and he is set amongst the stars in the sky, as the guardian of the void, or the guardian of the skies, the walls of the night. And he just circumvents the globe, and he is actually a star in the sky. This is the same star where they get the light from. The File of Galadriel is a reflection of the Silmaril that's from the ship Vingula. A lot of stuff going on here. If you're not new to it, if you are new, then you're probably confused and lost, but this is what happens. But she isn't on the ship with them, or she remains there. So but she can turn into a bird at will from now on. So my thought process was, maybe she goes up and flies up to him at times, and then they hang out or whatever. But that's what we were talking about, because they're not together all the time. So the thought of it is like sad, knowing that I saved the world. I have my wife with me, my bride, my love of my life. But now, being that I made this decision, they put me up in the sky and won't allow me to come back. And she's down here, and
She's
maybe are
also
they?
not allowed to go back to Middle Earth, so she can't go and hang out with
Yeah,
like
she
her
can't
kids.
go back.
Hmm.
So it's like, what? She can't go back. But I think they can. I think they can meet up. I think they can meet up. I think he flies over
I think
and
so.
she flies up to him. I think
To
that
meet halfway.
my head canon is that.
That is definitely what I picture in my head as well. So we're gonna go with that. That's the version we're gonna stick with.
That's
But
canon.
Callie, what about Thingol and Melian?
Yeah.
What about Thingol? What do you think about Thingol and Melian, Kaia?
I really like Thingol and Melian. I don't like Thingol.
I know Thingol's
Yeah, I
hard to
don't
get
like
along,
Thingol
but we
is
like Thingol later.
I like how when it comes to their marriage, it's very much like Feanor and his wife coded. Not obviously not as extreme, but like whenever he gets too hot-headed, she's just like, okay. In like her gentle parenting voice, like, it's time to calm down. We'll talk about this later.
But it frustrates me that Thingol still never listened to Melian.
Oh yeah.
Like,
She
I don't
tries.
know.
No one listens.
Like most wives, she tries.
But she
Yeah.
loves him unconditionally. It is said that when he dies, like
Oh
she,
yeah, she's
like, I have no
that's
reason
it.
to. That's
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So like she loves very deeply because when she lost Luthien, or knew she was going to lose Luthien rather, because Luthien chooses to be, mortal.
Hmm.
No pain has ever been ever been seen like that. So the love she has for her daughter is remarkable, and then the love that she has for Thingol. She was protecting their entire kingdom. Once Thingol goes, she's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here." That's gotta, she's just abandoned, not abandoned, because I understand. So I don't want to say she abandoned because we love Melian here, but she abandons her post in that certain sense. She stops everything, and this is how Doria ends up getting destroyed the first time by the dwarves, because she
She
leaves, and
decided Thingol was her 13th reason.
yeah,
And so she goes back home.
she goes back home, and she knows she's going to meet Thingol again there, which I think is important. At least she knows, you know what? All right, he's gonna get resurrected because the elves come back. So maybe
Yeah,
she's
unless
just
you
waiting for
pulled
him.
one of those. No, I'm not.
Unless you're a Feanor.
Exactly.
Do you think the sons of Feanor come back?
I think some of them might.
I don't think Mithros and
I don't think
Maglor. Oh, Maglor's not
I
dead.
definitely don't think like Magalor would or
I don't think
Mithros.
Mithros, I don't think comes back, and I definitely Telegorm and Corfin can't come back. They can't. They can't. They're just jerks. They're
Yeah.
terrible.
Sometimes I like to think of what like their interaction would be if they all were to like, meet each other again, especially between like, Feanor and Magnalor. Be like, you had a Silmaril and you did what?
What did you do? One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, The Lord of the Rings, I always say this, is in the Fellowship of the Ring in the extended edition. You can get a feeling of how much Aragorn loves Arwen and how much Beren loved Luthien when Aragorn is singing in the marshes, and Frodo's like, "Who are you singing about?" And you could see the pain in his voice from singing about a relationship that echoes his relationship. And he's like, "Yo, what happened to her? It died. Like, she died. Like, this is what's gonna ultimately happen if I choose to, allow Arwen to make the choice to be human, and we can live out our life. And he doesn't want that for her, and it kills him, and that is just a beautiful scene. That was really well done. Uh, Kudos to those who put it in. I thought that was remarkable. So that's that true love, that pain that comes along with sacrifice that you have to do in relationships sometimes. To love somebody, or to know, hey, nothing's going to be the same, or this person's whole life is going to be different just for the sake of our love. That's how much they love me. Am I willing to allow that to happen because I love them so much? I don't want that for them. But some things are just, it got to be. Beren did not want Luthien to have to give up her being a princess and living in the wild with him and all of that. And she was like, it's not your, it's my decision. I will literally die without like doing that. And like, you just got to deal with it because it's going to happen. This is fate. There's nothing you can do. Even Huan was like, yo, you're going to choose this or choose that, but you're going to die either way. Like, it's like, this is what's going to happen. So
And
I think
then, yeah.
those relationships are beautiful.
But then we have Agnor and Andreth.
Oh,
Which another so Agnor was an elvish man. I fell in love with Andreth, who was a mortal woman. But he knew that they couldn't work out because of the whole immortality issue. So he wouldn't marry her. He wouldn't like do the thing. Ironically enough, I guess, he dies in battle before she does. So like he was worried that he would have to live without her, but it ended up being kind of the opposite way.
way around.
Yeah. But Andreth refused to marry. I don't think she ever. Yeah, I think
Marries
she
after that.
marries after that and just like, stays thinking about him. And he is in the halls of Mandos and won't come, like he won't do his re-embodiment or reincarnation because he doesn't want to be without Andreth. So it's sad, but it's just like desperate love. And
What about
yeah.
unrequited love? Like,
Mm.
what do you think of Findulis and Turin?
Turin was just inappropriate in so many ways.
Yeah, but
I
she
think
loved
Thorin
him.
was just too worried about himself.
Yeah, he loved her as a friend, but she loved him.
More, right? Were they?
And
Was
no, they weren't
there?
together.
No, but was there like a relation or something happening there?
No, they didn't do
No,
anything,
okay.
but she was in
No.
love with him and
Okay.
not messed up, but she was bequeathed to Gwendor, and then Gwendor got captured or whatever. And then when he came back, she was like, yeah, I don't love you anymore. I love this man, this guy you brought. So that was messed up. But she ends up being killed, and it tears Turin up again because he always makes his bad decisions, and he goes to go after his mom and sister who are fine. Your mom and sister are fine. Listen to the dragon. And he goes after them instead of her, and she probably would have been rescued if he had gotten there in time. And she's pinned to the tree, and it's like, and she's like, and the last thing she could think of is tell the Mormogil I'm here. Like, tell him I'm here. Like the last thing you're thinking about when you're about to die and you're an elf is tell this man that I love so much that I'm here, like on this hill, like, and it crushes me. Very crushes me just like the Nimrodel story. Nimrodel and Amroth is also a sad story.
Yeah, there's a lot of sad love stories.
A lot of some Romeo Juliet type shits going on. A lot of that new. So I don't know, man. I like the ones where there's a happy ending. So Baron and Luthien, they see a happy ending. Arwen, Aragorn, they see a happy ending. I love the ones that don't have an happy ending, but they do wrench my heart. They wrench my heart, Amroth, like, oh, I don't want to leave. We can't leave without Nimrodel. She's lost, but I'll wait as long as I can. Oh, they're gonna leave without me? I'll jump into the sea and swim against this storm, and he drowns. And then she's like, where's Amroth? He's dead. What? I'm gonna wander until something happens to me, and nobody knows what happens to Nimrodel. That is what.
See, that's very much Romeo and Juliet.
Very, very Romeo and Juliet. I feel like some of that shit was Nimrodel's fault, though. No offense. It's like I feel like she was like trying to force him to make she was kind of forcing him to like. She didn't want to be a part of the whole Sindar and Noldorian elf expansion thing, and she didn't like what's going on with the dwarves, with the Balrog and stuff. So she was like, let's just leave and go. And he left his people. He was the king, and he left them out of love for her. And I'm not saying she's wrong for not for wanting peace, but it's like, come on, stick by your man through what's going on. I don't know. That's me. I'm tripping.
He just wanted to give her some peace, and we ended up getting killed.
Yeah, I think she was a little demanding in that sense because she was kind of like against a lot of things. I don't know. That's what I feel like. She was a little like, yo, man, understand he got a duty to his people and stuff. You know, she wasn't. She was just like run away with me type situation where it's like, I don't know if that's the way to go. And look what happened. But that's not like. So as we sit here and we talk about all these sad stories, Callie, I know you got something good to end us on.
I do. Before we end up on an up note, Kaia, were there any other notable love stories, friendships, couples, any kind of love? I mean, I could probably go into Bill the Pony, but we're not going to have that discussion. New Better's not going to let me have that discussion right now. So, you know.
Bill, I love Bill. What
Yes,
do you
thank
mean?
you, thank you, thank you. And who won?
What
Yeah,
about Tom Bombadil and Goldberry? Tell us about
That's a,
Tom Bombadil.
Oh.
that's what I was about to bring up, because I know Newbetter doesn't like Tom, but I don't know. I think that they're such a cute little couple. Like, they don't show a lot of romance, but they're just so freaking cute.
They are cute. I don't love Tom Bombadil. It's not even that I don't love Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil is fine. I just don't love hearing about him every 5 seconds. But
Yeah, the constant
I do
questions.
love how much he loves Goldberry.
Yeah.
I think that
like-
is such a pure love.
There was a thing in something that he said where, like, I forget what it was. Oh God, it was something that he found in the barrows, and it was
Yeah,
just like, oh,
brooch.
it belonged to her, but now Goldberry will wear it. It's like, well, who is her?
Yeah, I think that's really dope how they set that up. And with the remnants of Arnor and the Dunedain in the north, and who is she? And she must have been somebody important. It had to have been some kind of royalty or a lordship or something, because those boroughs were like for like the buried royalty of the Arnor. So was she like a princess? Was she a lordess, or something like that? I think that's really dope, and how beautiful it was, and what happened was tragic. But he's like, yo, Goldberry will wear it and remember her, and I think that's dope, and I think that his constant thought of Goldberry, no matter what was going on, I gotta
Oh yeah.
do this for Goldberry. I gotta
Flowers,
bring
got to
these for
bring it for
Goldberry.
Goldberry.
Yeah,
I love
Goldberry will be waiting. No, like
Yeah. Even talking to these complete strangers, like, no, let me think about my wife real quick.
let me tell you about that real quick. Yeah, I think that was dope.
That is beautiful. That is joy. That is love. I like that.
That's warm. That's warm. That's one good redeeming quality about Tom Bombadil, the love he has for Goldberry, the river daughter.
The river daughter. And the last couple that I was going to mention was Galadriel and our favorite house husband of Middle Earth, Celeborn. We especially since Rings of Power sort of did or are hinting that they may do something interesting with Celeborn's character. He's become, the butt of our running jokes, I feel like, for the better part of a year. So we should set that straight and let everyone know that Celeborn and Galadriel have a very long-standing and very beautiful marriage partnership love story.
I don't fuck with Celeborn, so I'm gonna let you guys tell us.
We're not.
He yelled at Gimli. I didn't like how he treated my man Gimli. I have a gripe. I've always had a gripe with. We never talked about Celeborn that much, so you never
really
knew that I
don't.
don't like him. But
That's true.
I read the Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, why are you talking to my guy like this? You're talking to my guy all wrong. And I don't like it. And I love that Galadriel set him straight and put him on the right path. And he apologizes, but it still stings me, because it's like, yo, why are you talking to him like that, yo? You don't even know what happened. You wasn't there. I find it interesting. One of the things that about Celeborn and Galadriel is the space that they give each other, but they always come back to each other, because they're not always together. They do things at different times. And Galadriel is so royal and but she loves Celeborn, and he's stated to be the wisest elf in Middle Earth. Are we talking about that? Did we ever talk about that? It's weird that because that's stated in the thing. Like, where I would think that it's Círdan, definitely Círdan or Elrond, but I think that it's stated that, like, yo, he's like the wisest elf in Middle Earth, and I'm like, man, but he's very wise because he married Galadriel, who is the bomb.com. So, No, that relationship is beautiful. He goes off for a time, she goes off for a time, and they always find their way back to each other. So their love is one of those things that they don't need to. It's like the friend that you don't need to call every day, but you know that's always there. They're very stable. They run a beautiful place. Um, she checks him when he's out of line, which I think is, but she does it nicely by reminding him, not yelling at him. So she's like, yo, if you could see your home again, like your ancestral home, wouldn't you want to do it? And it's like very Melian-esque, where it's like, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, okay. And then he softens up from there. You know what I'm saying? So I love that he listens to her and has her ear. You know what I'm saying? She has his ear rather, and I think that's really the trust between them two, and the trust that she's exponentially stronger than him, like ridiculously, and he's cool with it. I think that's important, the power dynamic, because she's Caliquindi and he's Moraquindi, and she's got a ring of power, and she is Noldorian, and all these things that make her like stronger. Not that she's better, but she's so much stronger. And he's lets her do what she does. He lets her make decisions that need to be made. Even though he's the king of the realm, even though he's not, he's the lord. But you know, he has the king role, and she's the one that throws down Dol Guldur, and he does. You never get the sense that he needs the glory from it or anything like that or anything, and that's really important. So I do like him in that sense that he shows that respect and that love for Galadriel, and I think that's a healthy relationship, even though he's a jerk sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I like about them. Is I feel like their love story is very refreshing compared to the other love stories in the Legendarium because
Mm.
like it's just not toxic and they don't have a tragic ending and it's not stressful. Like you read about them,
Mm.
it's like, oh, this is so nice compared to what I've been reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like
Mhm.
that intense, sort of all-encompassing, we forgot the world and our entire peoples for 300
Yeah.
years in a forest. Like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Galadriel goes. She doesn't go when she goes through Khazad-dûm. She doesn't go with Celeborn. That it's so cool that they got separate adventures and stuff like that. But they left prior to the Second Age, and they've been there for so long. And Galadriel has spent time in Rhaegon and Linden, and Celeborn was off doing other things, and they come back and they say, yo, hey boo, how you doing? It's been a while, but we still rocking. Let's do what we do. And I think that's very important. So
Yes, I like that.
I like it. I love it. And that's what Valentine's Day is all about. Expressing that love that we have for the other person. And we just this time where we shout it our loudest. We express it every day because of course. But this is when I go to the rooftops and I'm like, I love you. I want everybody in the world to know it.
It's
So
the one
that's what
that's
it's
a
for.
good excuse to fill your bedroom with balloons.
It, apparently you've done that. Yeah, that's what's up. Definitely. I do. I'm a flower teddy bear guy. I'm a flower teddy bear. Chocolate when it calls for. I'm
Food
very
is my
romantic.
love language. Food,
Food, okay,
Oh,
food,
yeah.
okay.
food, food. Things I can eat. Yep.
On Mother's Day, I
That's how
cook
I
my wife
express my
breakfast.
love.
Me and my
That's
son
good.
cook my wife breakfast. Actually, I cook my wife breakfast quite a lot. So if you're watching this, yeah, reciprocate some of that. Now, now she cooks wonderful dinners and everything. So she's awesome. Uh, she cooks up our favorite meal quite a lot. Me and my son got the same favorite meal, so
What
we
is
be
it?
we be chilling.
What's your
It's
favorite meal?
it's rice, salmon, and bacon.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's like a ghetto classic, like
Okay.
yeah, like it's like a poor man's meal, but it's like so freaking good. Like what I'm saying, it's just regular white rice, salmon from a can, like you heat it up and
oh,
then
okay.
you cook bacon and you put it on top of it and eat it all together. And it's like, what? Why is that so good? Eat it and you'll understand.
All right. I don't think I've ever
It's
had pork and fish
pumping, yo.
together.
Yeah,
Yo.
me neither.
We'll have to
The
definitely
bacon
put that on.
accentuates the flavor of every. It's so good,
I
yo.
believe you. Yeah.
Oh,
We can have a whole episode about love for bacon if we really wanted to, but
so
but
yeah.
that will be our main topic for today. Nobody, do you have any questions for the guest?
Kaia, when are you going to make your own podcast? Because I'd love to hear more from you.
See, that's what people ask me a lot, or they're just like, with my Did You Know videos, they're just like, well, when are you going to do like a watch along or like a Discord or like a podcast? And I'm just like, listen, making these videos is already very, what is it, like pulling forth my anxiety of just having to talk to myself, let alone other people.
Well, I wanna get the niceties out of the way, and I wish you the very best in your podcast. But April 6th, there will be blood. April 6th.
Your blood, not mine.
I like that. I like that. That's what's up. We are doing a trivia contest. This is the fourth trivia contest. We're gonna be on opposite teams. So I got Team New Better, and then you're on
Fornos team with
Fornos team.
Matt.
You're going to be on Fornos team. So I have a uphill battle going against the likes of Fornos and Kaia, and
Uphill
it's going to be
battle. They y'all
dope.
announced the teams, and I saw yours, and I was just like, oh, so we're all losing.
Nah. Yo, Tim scares me. Tim is so crazy with the lore. He's something else. I'm quite good. Me. I think we're pretty good. But Tim's team, your team, Belmont's team, we're all like crazy. And so it seems like people be doing that, and I'm like, you just don't know these other creators are like crazy with the lore. So I salute you. I respect you until that day, and then it's going down. Fisticuffs.
Highest respects until I'm coming to kick your ass.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, no, I definitely, if you get in your comfort zone and you feel comfortable enough to make different type of content on it, we're all here for it. You do wonderful videos and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So
do. Yeah.
looking forward to that. So
Oh yeah. No, and I love y'all's podcast.
thank you
Like
very much.
I watch what is it? Before we like announced it to everyone when I got on Fornos team for the trivia, I was like, okay, well, time to watch everybody's podcast to get up on my shit. But I think once I started getting into the like the TikTok Tolkien fandom, y'all's podcast was one of the first ones I started watching because I was like, interesting. I didn't know Tolkien's creators had podcasts. So
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It happened. Yeah. So
Pretty
thank you
big
so
market
much.
out there, which is pretty great.
yeah.
So before we get out of here, we always leave with a wonderful
Little
what do you call them again?
little
Self-care
self-care
tips.
tips. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So, five little pieces of advice, for if you are currently in the dating phase of your romantic life. The first one is don't force yourself to go on dates that you're not genuinely excited for.
Don't do
You're
it.
doing yourself and the other person a disservice. And you're not there to receive the other person's best or to give your best. So, sometimes the kindest thing to do is just to postpone or to say no sometimes. That's okay. The other thing is not to feel obligated to keep talking to someone if you're not interested. I think some of us do that just to be nice, but you know, um, again, with point number one, I think that does both parties a disservice. And that's not what love is about. Love is about getting the best out of both of you, I think anyway. Tip number three is to recognize when someone adds value to your life or when someone just adds validation to your life.
Very clear
Mm-hmm.
distinction there.
So
That was a good one, Callie.
do they add value or did they add validation? Um,
Callie be spitting sometimes, yo.
be honest with yourself about how fast you're comfortable moving and set your boundaries and stick to them. That is absolutely a golden rule, really, for anything in life. And something else that I think a lot of people forget to do is know your worth and add tax. Don't make people put in the effort for your time because you deserve it and you're worth it.
Very true.
Very well put.
Very well put, yo. So guys, as always, Callie kills it with the self-care tips. And you'd be the wiser to make sure you listen to them, take notes, and apply them in your life, and you'll come out the better. We really appreciate you, Kaia, so much for coming on our podcast, giving your
Thanks
input
for
and your
having
thoughts.
me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the wonderful story about how you met your fiance and your beautiful relationship, and we wish you the best. So
Mhm.
Thank you.
once again, everybody give Kaia Kay a round of applause.
Yay.
Thank you. That is it for today's episode of Voices of Arda, and we will see you very soon. We'll be back with another guest, another topic. You know the vibes. Thank you so much again. As always, I always thank Callie Cosplay for being her wonderful self, putting this whole thing together, running the show, and keeping us on track. And with that, we are out. So you guys have a happy Valentine's Day. And yeah, peace.
Take care.